Downtown Belmont, there's a plaque. I just wanted to read it to you. They have restrooms, they have information board. It's a quaint little place. I like it here. I'm not one to complain. I just like to be outdoors. I like to enjoy history, scenery. It's quite the expanse. Monitor Valley Cemetery is below. Actually, the cemetery sits above the outskirts of town, and then if you go past it and climb the hill here, you have downtown. It's pretty cool. But people came here. There's a lot of epidemics. There's a lot of children buried in the cemetery. A lot of children died in Belmont. It was kind of lawless. Some men were hung. And I'll tell you the history. I'll read you the plaque. Why not? They put it here so people can learn and hear about it. Belmont sits at an elevation of 7,400 feet. And a spring flowing year-round made this a gathering site for the Shoshone Indians for rabbit drives and celebrations. In 1865, silver ore discoveries led to the development of an attractive tree-shaded mercantile community. East Belmont became the mining and milling center. A wide range of nationalities worked the mines, operated businesses, provided services. At its height, Belmont had schools, churches, post office, newspaper, 2 newspapers, folks, as well as a Chinatown, a red light district, and a racetrack. The town was a Nye County seat from 1867 to 1905, and then the courthouse survives, from the period, which you can see here. Technically, let me just add, that Belmont lost the Nye County seat to Tonopah in 1905, about the time that the town went ghost, or, became abandoned. It says right here, also, Belmont had a reputation as a rowdy town. Incidents of saloon brawls, vigilante action, shootings, hangings, and feuds made the town notorious. Well-known in Nevada, such as Jack Longstreet, which I talked about in the cemetery, Tasker Odie, Jim Butler, and Andrew Mott all participated in local early history. Jim Butler, founder of Tonopah. He was a prospector and rancher, came here, lived many years of his life in Belmont, left Belmont, found silver ore up at Tonopah, and established his own town. Silver production, totaling $4 million, was from a high-grade but shallow ore. In 1890, most mines ceased to be profitable or forced to shut down. Belmont's population dwindled as most residents left for new discoveries in nearby mining towns. A. Manhattan. B. Austin. C. Tonopah. All towns that surround Belmont. The hospital? Yeah. So basically, if you come here in the summer and you get bit by a snake, you're going to die. Right? Oh man, that sucks balls. I got to get my bag and stuff, and then we'll take this half of the town first, where the courthouse and all is, and then we'll do this half of the town, huh?
Are we going to go Dirty Dicks first?
They're closed, or I'd be going in for some whiskey and laughs. And poker too. I know how to play poker. There's 2 saloons in town.
The other one is, well, maybe.
The other one they may have owned. The other one's somewhere up there. Somewhere near here. I've seen pictures.
The one that says Saloon?
Yeah.
The one that says Saloon right there.
Oh.
But that's owned by the people that own the inn now. That whole strip.
I guess they own that and sold it. Only me would go through the 10-foot snow instead of the shallow snow. I was excited to play in the snow. Look, it's the middle of winter. You got to expect to encounter some snow. You can't get lucky for 3 years. I went without snow almost because of the drought, and I got lucky on all these ghost towns. But I'm not going to get lucky forever. You know what I'm saying? There's no way. Jared, you're the tripod man, okay? Yeah. 1865, Belmont was born, as I was telling you guys earlier. And it started off with just a tent camp that planted the area for a town, and then the stone and brick and wood buildings came later. And they used the local juniper and piñons, the stone, anything native, and red brick manufactured from the clay. They have springs here, so water was abundant. But the people had to brave the frontier, so they had to use everything possible that they found. The town grew to over 2,500 residents in a short time. Snowball throwing. Post office came in 1867. That's when it became the Nye County seat. The courthouse, complete 1876, which you see straight ahead, which we'll definitely investigate and check out. They're always looking for people to do repairs and restoration work. In return, they'll let you investigate it. I think that's a pretty good deal. So let me tell you what the town had boasted. It had 4 stores, it had at least 2 saloons, 5 restaurants, post office, SA office, school, bank, telegraph office, like I said earlier, 2 newspapers, blacksmith shop, livery stable. It was a big town. It was a major mining boom town, really. And you could clearly see, I mean, there's not much remaining, but what's left, this is substantial. These walls are substantial, and it's extensive, and we'll definitely, on my way back, I'll definitely delve more into photography. This is the Cosmopolitan. I actually got a story about the Cosmopolitan. 1867 to 1920. It was a dance hall, by the way, the Cosmopolitan. But in 1887, a lot of the mines closed. Some stayed open almost till 1905, but it dwindled. But the Cosmopolitan, it was still in business in 1920, so there were still people up here enjoying this place. And by the way, just so everybody's aware, the Shoshone are the ones that discovered silver here. And what happened is that they told the white man about it, and then the white man came here. Like, really? I mean, once somebody heard of silver and gold, that was it. Thousands would flock, and overnight a town would literally build up from the ground, because the people would just gather stone and wood. It's just, it's really amazing. When the Native Americans had discovered silver and told the white man about it, it led to the High Bridge Mine. And I know how to get to the High Bridge Mine, but I'm telling you, it's probably under snow right now. It's not very safe to get up in there. And then guess what? When the mines came, it led to the High Bridge Hotel, the San Francisco Restaurant, National Bank, the Cosmopolitan Saloon and Dance Hall, and about 100 other businesses that were here. You could hear the stamps all over town. There were 5 mills in town. 10 stamp mill, 1866 till 1869 it ran. 20 stamp mill in 1867, and then it was moved to Esmeralda County in 1880. Largest, best known was the combination mill, which I will take photos. I don't think I can get to it. However, the combination mill is probably on private property as well. They want to preserve it. It's 3 stories high. The combination mill was built in 1868. There was a 30 stamp mill called the El Dorado and a 20 stamp mill named the Monitor in Belmont, which I filmed and photographed earlier. The courthouse exists at the end of Ralston Valley. You can see the courthouse and these houses and that little canyon. Yeah, that leads out to Ralston Valley. 29 years it served. Run, soldier, run. Please don't blow me up with that tripod bazooka. Tripod bazooka.
Oh, God.
Hi.
Can I leave my bag here? Or no? You're going to wander? Because if you're going to...
No, I'm just going to be right here.
Okay.
I just don't want to walk through all the
Well,
people.
you'll see me the whole time.
Hi.
Because this takes weight on me, and I got to hike through snow. It is deep. All right, so let's cross, son. Let's start off at the top. We'll work our way down. Wow, it is deep. Indian Maggie's Saloon? What? It's deep. What are you gonna do? Some of the old miner cabins up here. Does someone say whiskey, dude? Look, printing office, newspaper, Belmont Courier newspaper, 1870. Dude, this picture worthy, man. We'll get pics on our way back of that. That's, wow. Woo! That's an old stagecoach, full of the good stuff. The secret sauce. Wow. It's pretty nice. We'll talk about the courthouse history when I get there, but I could tell everyone one thing about it. It's an amazing site. What?
Is that recording?
Huh? I am recording. Let's go a little past and look.
You should put on your coffee.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, look. There is a penis on the loose, and it's hopping through the snow, balls first. Look. It's Peter Penis Tail. Hop, hip hop, hoppity, dragging his balls in the snow. Man, I'm laughing so hard I'm coughing, folks. I can't even contain myself right now. Alright, we'll move on. I don't know what penis made that, but I certainly do not want to run into that penis.
This is way too.
Holy shit. I spot. Dude, those are a lot of pecker tracks, man. Looks like a pecker ran through the snow. Got Ralston Canyon. This is Ralston Canyon, folks. Here's the courthouse. And then we have Ralston Canyon. It again?
Alright, so, you know how penguins slide on their belly?
How do they do it? That's it? No, I'm not going to go up, folks. Other than to take pics. Because we want to definitely see. I think those people went in the courthouse. They run a bed and breakfast up here. And if you help out, you can investigate it. Looks like he had a workshop next to the main homestead. It's a decent sized home back in the day. Built into the hillside. He also had another room or some kind of brick. There's a brick wall. May have been a newer addition to the home. Because you have native stone. Then you have brick, which was fired up and made right here out of the rich clay found in Belmont. There was Butler. He had Jack Longstreet. He was a very prominent citizen here. And then this is Oddie. He is a well-known resident. Tascarelli was the governor and a U.S. Senator in Nevada, which explains that during this time period, this would be a mansion on the hill compared to other little small minor cabins. But he was a governor and he was a senator. That's why he's so well known. And he lived in this house in 1899. He moved to Belmont from Austin, Nevada, another location that we had investigated and stayed the night at. He was an agent for Anson Phelps Stokes Interests. He purchased a house and part of the interest in a mine. He had purchased from the estate of Peter Bartell in 1899, right before the boom ceased to exist, period. The mines were exhausted. But I guess he wanted to live out his days here, or at least live a peaceful life, and had an interest in mining. Anyhow, in 1899, he purchased a mine. He lived up here in the 1890s. The house was described as a stone and brick building. It was 1 story high, had 3 good rooms, 2 storerooms made of wood. Probably one was a workshop. Jared, I need you, dude. Come here. Come here, dude. And you could see, cool. Brave it. Brave it. There you go.
Did it. Alright.
Brick, which came later, stone, and then there's more stone attached to some wood collapsed structures like here. Cool.
This used to be a fence. It's not ideal.
Is this labeled up here?
Yes, it's keep out.
No, I mean, is there a sign
Yeah.
with the history for here? Well, there's no history on the plaques, but I know some of it by heart. Been doing some studying in Belmont. Go for it. He just went down on his stomach all the way down. That was funny. This is turning into a episode of Paranormal Jackass. You hear me, folks? Paranormal Jackass. Who needs a sled when you have a bird chest? Oh man, that's pretty cool. Jesus Christ. Seriously, dude? Just fell, man. Look at that, I just fell.
It is really icy right
I can't even get up. Ugh. Dude, I'm all over the damn place. Just wait there. You can see there's still ranching going on here, horses, cattle. But there used to be farms. They grew wheat, barley, apricots, I believe peaches or pears. That's a burro. Burros are, those aren't horses, but burros are well known for farm work. People use them on the farm. It sounds kind of mean, but yeah. They were very well used. That's how Butler, who discovered Tonopah, his burro that he had with him, kicked over a piece of ore. He looked at it, said, this is a little heavy. Turned out to be a really high grade ore. And then $150 million later, Tonopah was one of the richest silver mining areas in the state of Nevada and the world. A lot of history here. This is the old newspaper, which, folks, was, oh, the whiskey wagon. Today it's a Saloon, but back then it was a newspaper. Oh yeah. Come here. Check out this. Those are modern bottles of booze, but the wagon's old. Cool. There's even a bell you can ring for service. Like ding, 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 ding. I want some ale. Open up. Right? That's nice. This was a store at one time too. It says 1866. Indian Maggie's Saloon. Cool. The printing office was also a bar. It was called the Inn Bar, I guess. And it housed the printing office or the newspaper. Because all you needed was a little room with a press. And then someone worked there most of the day doing the editorials and the writings and then print it out. John Booth and Andrew Casamayu were the first owners of the paper. And then it was sold after Casamayu's death. Booth had sold the newspaper to Andrew Mott in 1876. And he ran the paper until he moved to Carson City, 1899. And I guess the paper wasn't sold, but it was leased to a F.G. Humphrey, who ran it till about 1901. See, that's the problem with these towns. Once the post office and the newspaper shut down, you knew the town was going to go bust. It's just a matter of time. This is just an example. Today it's a saloon, but, you know, a lot of these buildings have been restored and they're revamped and used in they have other uses. Pretty cool. You know how cold it is? We're in the friggin' Antarctica right now. Do you not see this? This is Antarctica. We're in the Antarctic. Oh, this must be the inn, and these are the rooms. You're crazy. He buried himself in the snow. I'm almost out of the snow. I gotta go back in and take a few more pics. And EVPs. Because ghosts do haunt the streets of this town. That's a fact. So you gotta soak it up, gotta get them ghosts. Does it? Oh, yeah. I know, but
So much muscle. Ready?
do it again, man. I see you turn that cog. Wow.
Oh god,
It still works,
it's really heavy.
even 150 years later. Wow. Storm's coming, everyone. We may only have an hour left to enjoy this place. It's going to get real nasty. All right, hold on. Jared, I will need your services, son. Mercantile and Saloon, Belmont Inn. And it used to be the old combination office, combination mill administration building. Look at that storm. The Belmont Inn and Saloon and Mercantile was actually renovated. It was not always an inn, it was the combination building built in 1867. It's one of the largest mills, 3-story mill made out of brick, located on the outskirts of Belmont. It was designed to house the superintendent and the offices associated, the employees. Let me rephrase it. It was built to house the superintendent and offices associated with the combination mining company. Certain employees, people who may have had a stake or a claim in the mine or the mill locally.
Nothing.
It's a stone building. And the combination mining company purchased the original claim of the Transylvania Ledge in 1867. That was a newspaper. Yes, this was originally a newspaper. Then it was renovated, became the superintendent's office, a combination mill and mine. And then it was altered to this inn that you see ahead of us. The cost of the building equipment led to the bankruptcy of the company. George Roscoe Williams, a local attorney, acquired the building as part of a judgment against the mining company. And he lived in this structure until 1876. When he moved from Belmont. The building has been occupied most of the time. Actually, the caretakers used to stay here and watch over the town. So it's definitely, well, it looks like it's about to snow. It's definitely one of the finest and most preserved stone buildings in all of Belmont. It's designed to last. It's not just clay. This is mortar and rock, native volcanic rock it's made with it. It's always been preserved. Like the rest of the town's been vandalized and abandoned. Not this. This is one of the finest structures. Look at it good, because we're heading out. I know there's snow on me. Quit throwing snow on my ass, dude. I know plastic bags are sticking out of me too. And there's snow falling out of the trees. But yeah, it is a very nice building. And they added on to the back. I'm going to take some video. I'll show you. But you can see right in the back, that's all newer. It's all brick. So they extended it. It's a fine piece. It's a fine piece of architecture and masonry work. It even has a porch and an upstairs and an attic or loft. It's very nice. And it's made to withstand another couple hundred years as long as we take care of it. Wow. A lot of farming and ranching. Dude, that tank is frozen over. Holy shit. Look at that. All stone walls. Each stone laid hand by hand. Wow. Nice barn. Little cabin. Whew. Snow's getting deep. There's some stuff back here, dude. Besides the wheels. You want wagon wheels? No, there's ruins. Where? See, no, maybe a area where they stored meat.
Yeah.
They built it in the hill.
Yeah.
It's called the dugout.
Oh,
It's like
so it's cool.
it's like a refrigerator all summer. Yeah. Just some minor cabins, but there is a lot of stone ruins back in here. It's definitely picture worthy, right? I mean, look at this. Look how beautiful the architecture is of this.
Oh, sorry.
Weather's gonna get bad, dude. Look at the snow coming in. So we gotta hurry our investigation before we get caught in the blizzard of a lifetime. There is some things up on top. Maybe there was a mine up there. It's behind someone's house. Private property is everywhere.
I'll go with Tammy.
Hold on. Wait. I need you.
Again?
Yes. I always need you. You're my go-to guy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You ready to go? What do you think this was? It's not labeled.
Minor shack, I'm guessing.
Yeah, miner's cabin. Look. Stove, fridge, everything. Sinks, cupboards. That's fridge is like in the 60s, 70s, so obviously somebody lived in here for quite some time. The church, I guess, was built in 1905. Let me see here. No. The church was built in the 1800s in Belmont. And what happened was, in 1905, they dismantled it, moved it to the ghost town of Manhattan, which is in this mountain range as well. It's just hard to get to today, but it's in this mountain range as well. And they built a replica using the original plan. Services are held to the first and the third Sunday. It's pretty creepy when you're hiking through here, and the reason why is that every little noise you hear, you think, ghost. It's not. Snow's thawing a little today, it's warming up. Icicles are falling out of trees. Snow's falling off the edges of roofs. This town had a blacksmith as well. Like I said, it was a very bustling town. Some people believe as many as 10 to 15,000 lived here. And there may have been for a short time. And when people, when miners did not make a profit or their claims didn't play through, they moved on to the next town. You'd have 10,000 people move from one town to the next. Look, Main Street, Canyon Street. Watch it, guys, there's a truck. Oh. The Cosmopolitan's too. This is Main Street. 3 and 4 are over here.
Behind the bank, so they're down there. Those are the houses down there.
What's the bank? One?
The bank is right here.
Okay, well, it's on the way to the corehouse, so don't worry about it.
So actually, those,
To the corehouse.
these buildings here aren't labeled.
Oh, okay. Here, I'm gonna have you get my picture like up here, and you could get one of me and Jared or something. Then we'll set up the tripod, and we'll go to the corehouse, and we'll almost be out of here.
Hey, Dad, you want this stick?
Come on, dude. This place is so.
No. I'm sweat now.
Oh my God, my stupid foot. Oh.
Hey, David, would you like to lick it?
Dude.
What? Sorry.
Just so everybody knows, this large stone structure, not labeled, I don't know what they are. However, I still would like to film their magnificent works of masonry, bricklaying, and stonework.
Did you want to see my dolphin dive? Oh.
I can't even get out of the snow. This is bad. There we go. So what it looks like it extended. There's a smaller cabin in the back. Maybe a workshop or storage area. There was a basement. Look how deep this is. And now sagebrush grows in it. Cool. The Cosmopolitan. As you can see on here, their dates are wrong. It says 1930 on the brochure that I have, but it says 1920 on the plaque. It says in Belmont's glory days, there was a 2-story wooden structure that stood here. It had a saloon, like I said earlier when I was hiking around, a dance hall, a restaurant. It had rooms. Most saloons did for rent. They were kind of like brothels as well. the upstairs would be, you could stay, get a room, get a meal, and if you wanted, you could also pay a girl to entertain you. That's how it was in the Wild West. But however, owners Morgan and McGee opened for business on 1867. You can see 1867. It was a continuous operation by a number of proprietors, changed hands many times until 1910. And after that day, it was intermittently used as a bar mainly. Then they used it as a store, a post office, and social gatherings and activities after the 1930s. And they would have dances in town. Even when the town dwindled, it was just something for people to do. You're in the middle of nowhere, so you gotta dance and listen to music or make music or roast some beans over a fire. This is what the Wild West is about, man. But you can see it's collapsed. There's just piles of wood here. Right next to a stone building. Maybe it did have some stone and then the roof collapsed and it was wood. I don't know what it looked like back then. I have some pictures I can look at and put on our site, the Cosmopolitan. And then we have the bank. This is number one when you pull in the town. Obviously, banks were robbed quite frequent. They also stored gold and silver. A lot of silver was stored here. However, this building on Main Street was constructed to house the bank. It's made of native brick and stone. They said it's a one-story, and at a later date, the main floor was converted into a courtroom and a sheriff's office until they built the courthouse in the 1870s, which you see off in the distance. And it says the basement contained 2 jail cells. It was in this building that Jack, Walter, and Charles McIntyre were hung by unknown persons. So in other words, there could be paranormal activity here. It was stated in the newspaper shortly after the hanging, and some of the rougher elements of the town were left for friendlier parts of Nevada. In other words, after the hangings and murders, people were so appalled that they left this town. And so this is what it is. This is what you have left. Not much, but these ruins are a part of the history that resides here. Wow. I believe that's the Ernst house I just filmed. Actually, it's not. There's a brick building behind it. This should be the Ernst house. Let's see. Yep. Ernst home. 1870. Ernst house. I'll tell you a little bit about Ernst. Ernst arrived in Belmont in 1870. Lived with his family in a wood frame house. At the time, there was a bunch of fruit trees back here. Fruit was for the miners. Came to Nevada in 1863, worked as a surveyor on the Sutro Tunnel in Virginia City, which I've taken you guys, done quite a few investigations surrounding the Sutro Tunnel. We also went to the Sutro pools out in San Francisco. So a lot of towns and prominent people out west visited various towns and had business establishments or came from a huge mining claim or business from another town and then moved here. He was married to Ellen Mary Hinter of Dayton, Nevada in 1865. So he was an immigrant. Immigrants made America. And then next to it we have the Leone House. This is the Leone House. William Leone, he was a miner in Belmont in 1867. Now the cabin's not. Let me get over a little bit. Built a brick house. On Spring Street in 1888, his wife Mary celebrated their silver wedding in that house. And they lived here to the day they die. It was passed on eventually to the Hunt family and to its present owners. It is abandoned. It almost looks like, it's just built into the hillside. Now whether this cabin that you see here, it could have been a guest cabin or part of the Leone House, I don't know. You have a little workshop or storage area as well. I walked past this building earlier. It's called the Doctor's House. Actually, a lot of the people in town refer to this place as the Doctor's House. The cabin's newer, not the walls surrounding it. It's probably an old homestead. There's a miner's cabin behind that, the newer cabin. But don't confuse that. This wood structure is the Doctor's House. The newspaper in 1868 stated that Dr. James Riddle built a house on Oliver Street Dr. Riddle was one of the founding members of the Masonic Order. It was called Oasis 11 in 1866. And he was elected state senator of Nye County in 1866 of November that year. Later, this house was occupied by Aunt Kit Anderson. And there is the Anderson Cemetery. I cannot get to it. It's back deep in the canyon. The snow's like up past my waist. And I have to, I mean, I got a little frostbite on the toes there, you know. But it's an Indian cemetery, and there's hardly anything left. It's all under snow right now, so there's no point in me doing the Indian cemetery. But if we come back, I'll be glad to hike up in the canyon and bring you guys that. But that's referred to as a doctor's house. And I guess it's called Canyon Road. But I guess this was Oliver Street and this was his house. I don't know. Because it's confusing in the history. It also says that the Dr. James Riddle had built a new house on Oliver Street. And the question is did he build a house here, and was this his practice? This looks more like a business or a practice, not a house. But Dr. James obviously utilized this at one time and was a state senator. And there's been a couple senators that lived here, including a governor. It's a really historic town. It's a bigger deal than you think, believe me. But we're heading out of here. Well, last visit will be at the Combination Mill and Mine. I don't think I'm going to be able to get up into the mine. I had some major mines. The Combination Mine was huge. That's what I call it. The silver tunnels ran for miles, and I know where the mine is. I know where a few mines are, but I'll tell you what, there's no access in them this time of year. It's almost impossible to get up to the top of these mountains. You slide back down. It's crazy. It's a disadvantage. It's pretty in the winter, but the disadvantage is everything's buried. There's mine shafts that are under snow. You have to be really careful. And you know, it's great that it's a wonder that we did the cemetery and all these sites, including the courthouse. I mean, we were really thorough. The only thing we didn't get to see is the mine, the Indian cemetery, and the mills are on private property, so that's out of my hands. But we've gotten to see every landmark I've done a little video on, every landmark I've visited, major landmark remaining, so that people on YouTube can enjoy one of the most photographed ghost towns in the Wild West. Doctor's house, folks. Looking for the Combination Mill. I have a little bit of history on the mill. There's actually a couple mills. There's 3 standing mills. There was 5 in total. You're not going to see these mills anymore. I mean, there's some walls and piles of wood. But since they get so much snow, I mean, you have a couple feet. You look at some areas, there's 3 feet of snow on the hillsides. And since we have a lot of snow, I don't see the mill. It's around the bend. When you come around the bend, it's around the bend. It's not here. You come up, this is considered Main Street, and you're supposed to see it. But it's all right. You know, we're going to come through here, and we're going to come back eventually, because we're going to do Manhattan. So when we do Manhattan, we'll definitely make a stop at Belmont. Look at that house on the hill. That's desolation, man. That's life in Belmont today, though. Secluded, remote, peaceful, scenic, full of nature, extreme temperatures in the summer and the winter. In this case, we got some extreme weather going on up here today. Storms, snow, sleet, ice, winds. It's pretty cool. And there's the church. It's not the original church, but it was made to look like the original. Pretty cool. It's not good, folks. Is that the mill? It's not very accurate. I know a storm's coming in. Look at that. It's snowing up on these peaks. It's cold. Oh yeah, we definitely got to get out of here. This is a rental car, but I am not taking it. It's already thick snow. It's very low to the ground. You definitely don't want to be stuck out here. You'll freeze to death. Belmont below. It's about all that remains of the town. Like I said, if I ever come back up to I'm going to go to Manhattan eventually, but if I ever come up this way to Manhattan, actually I'm going to probably do some help at the courthouse because I want to get inside the courthouse. But if I come up to Manhattan, which is straight ahead, but in the Takima range, we could do Manhattan and I can come and do those mills. Because I've already done the town. I just need to do those mills. Of course, some mills are on private property, so I have to do more research. Downtown Belmont. It's a beautiful thing what we do here at the Paranormal Ghost Society. We put everything together, videos, pictures, recordings, history, old-time pics, EVPs, everything. We put it all, we compile it together so people can, cherish these places and learn about them. And the best media we got going on is the ability to do videos so people can kind of see what it looks like here. And it's live. It's live. So you get to see me driving past all the stone foundations and get to see all the historic sites along the way. This is Dick's.
Dirty Dicks.
Dirty Dick's. That's just wrong. Wrong, baby.